Spoken. Option A, come on. A, Macknificent is the topic. And y'all know that we flow the hottest. Got it feeling like the tropics in here. Let's get it. Hey, 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 hey. There ain't no way they can get rid of this. If I think it, instantly I'm spitting this. You might miss it if you blinking, it's ridiculous. When we rockin', man, we so magnificent. And I know they wanna get with this. If I think it, then I'm instantly spitting this. If you blink, you might miss it, it's ridiculous. Every time I rock, I'm so magnificent. And you know that I be claiming position in the game. I'm the rapper that they name it, the most magnificent. Check the way we flipping this, flipping script. I'm no living cold on some crazy shit. I do it in a freeway, spelling it out, man. It's M-A-C-K. Music, art, creativity, knowledge. Every time I'm rhyming, man, I stay so polished. Whack shit gets abolished, I be claiming my throne. Never slipping for a second, I'ma stay in the zone. Yeah, magnificent with the skills, magnificent with the way that I get ill. Magnificent structures is what we came to build. Magnificent describes the way I make you feel. It describes the vibe when I'm inside the site. But getting live with guys who know my rhyme too hype. Magnificent, that would be the definition of how I'm spitting this until my final breath of living. This is an exorcism of all of the corny rappers who be needing ghostwriters. There ain't nothing but some actors, not a factor, homie, I'm a savage. I get you high like puffing on the cabbage, yeah. And I be staying on the rap shit that you love. Harry Mack gon' rise above. So magnificent from YouTube to the club. Let's go, hey, yeah, y'all can never get with this. Soon as I think it, I'm instantly spitting it. If you blink, you might miss it, it's ridiculous. When we in the house, y'all, we so magnificent. I said we so, I said we so. When we in the house, I said we so magnificent. I said we so, I said we so. When we in the house, I said we so magnificent. Now if you feeling this, the way I'm aiming my raps and the way that I be playing these tracks, only one thing y'all should do, man, I'm claiming this fact. What y'all need to do now is throw the flames in the chat. Come on, when I'm spitting in the cipher, I'll be tight as fuck. Hey yo, I'm doing this here just to hype you up. Yeah, rappers, they be talking of the striking us. Flames in the chat right now, it's time to light it up. Yo, they had it for a minute, I'm the new dude, too true. Peace to everyone watching on YouTube. Stop up on the ground and leave the place shook. Can't forget about all the people up on Facebook, yeah. And y'all know that we always last through infinity when we on the multicast. Hitting many different platforms when the rap's born. February 17 when the Mac's born. 1990 since then I've been on the rhymes. We up in the lab where you find me. Y'all know my lyrics is grimy. Peace to everybody throwing fire emojis. Peace to my community, I'm looking y'all closely. Peace to everybody who be all up on my Patreon. Showing me support, knowing that I'm dropping crazy songs. Every day I'm born in the zone, I'll be blacking out. Magnificent, that's the word that we be rapping about. Yeah, yeah. Hey yo, they talking what we living in. Soon as I think it, y'all know that I'm spitting it. If you blink, you might miss it. It's ridiculous. When we in the house, we be so magnificent. We be so, come on, so we be so. Hey, when we in the house, we be so magnificent. We be so, come on, so we be so. Hey, when we in the house, we be so magnificent. What? Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
That's cool. A lot of cross stick. Kind of just a cross stick groove going through the whole thing. Oh, my gum's gone. Alright, let's try it again. This 25 ply's got a great cross stick. It's got die-cast tubes on it. It's the OCDP 25 ply maple 14x7. And this is my DW. That's got a fat cross stick too, though. Definitely a higher timbre, though. I like trying to get some of those overtone sounds too with the cross stick, because you know when you have your hand on it and you're just rocking. you're killing the overtones with, keeping your wrist basically planted in that and pivoting the stick. But I like messing around with the overtones a lot. You guys have seen that with my others that were in that kind of stuff where it's even. Cool things with just keeping different amounts of tension or the butt end of the stick on as you're kind of like, so that way you get those two hits. Kind of like when you're doing like a Roomba, you're doing. That kind of a thing. And that one's not too hard to learn either. Latin stuff actually is pretty tricky. I'm not gonna lie, especially for us. People grew up on Western music. If we haven't grown up on Latin grooves, or playing stuff in six a lot, or because there's a lot of it's usually an ensemble, right? Like traditionally in those large bands, like in Carnival and Brazil and those things. Each person is playing that individual instrument. So like the shakeré player, right? There's one person playing the shakeré. So your shakeré basically being your hat as a kit drummer, right? Then you got another person that's playing just the bass drum. Then you got another guy who's got clave or a block or cowbell, whatever. So creating all of those elements as one person, which usually has 10 people, creating those ensembles and those rhythms is a little tricky. But as long as you kind of figure out your sticking, you're relaxed with it, you got a good ostinato going with your feet, and you can play different ostinatos, but usually you're just doing like a and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 2 and 3 4 and 1 if you're playing it in 4. But your first hit is actually your right hand, so it's a nice little accent there. Then the second hit is your cross stick. Then you're doing your close stroke roll, and you're doing either 3 or 4. You can do three or 4. Traditionally, it's done with 3, triplet close stroke, but. That's what the figure would be in just a repetitious pattern. You can kind of add some other like 8 notes, like just kind of have fun with it with your right hand. But your cross stick is only doing those 2 hits. Then you can just kind of have fun with it, but just the traditional Roomba, that kind of thing. But I like having fun playing other figures with my right hand. But anyway, just a little lesson side note there, I guess, in the middle of trying to play another request by MrFunkGroove. So it's another Harry Mack freestyle. It's called Macknificent, like Harry Mack, Macknificent. But it's got a lot of cross stick in it, so I figured that's what I just kind of getting into some cross stick talk. But some cross stick stuff can be cool, and you can really create some cool grooves and use your right hand kind of like you would use as your ride pattern, but doing more intricate sticking on the snare in between your cross stick hits. of combine it with a bossa figure. So that's all I was doing, just kind of going back and forth between a Roomba and a bossa figure, just kind of making up my own little Latin thing there. But that's some really cool stuff and leads to some great independent stuff. Because you have to get used to doing those ostinatos on your feet and really using your left foot for your hat, especially when you're going to the ride, you know, and keeping that, because that's what's anchoring the whole thing together. Different figures, but the traditional ones you're playing on 2, and then on the and then on beat 1. So when you're doing 1, 2, and 1, and 1, 2, and you know, and then you can add some extras like on beat 1. Shuffle it a little bit if you want, but yeah, it's not too difficult. But getting the independence down part of it and keeping your feet, I call it on autopilot. That's what I say to my students. I'm like, just try to keep your you know, whatever is, most of the time it's your leading hand, right? Us righties, right hand, right, is like your metronome basically, because everything else falls underneath either your 8ths or your 16ths or quarters, whatever you're playing. But that's kind of your metronome, you know, so you want to keep that on autopilot with your muscle memory, because everything else is going to be organized and fall underneath those beats that you're playing with your metronome hand kind of thing. So I say the same thing about with the feet, is just trying to keep those on autopilot. And I know it's hard a lot of the times, but if you overthink it or you think too much about it, a lot of times that's when you'll lose it. So, you know, I find it's kind of funny how that works. It's like, you'll be playing something and then you'll just have a thought come through like, oh, I wonder what I should cook for dinner tonight or something, right? And then all of a sudden you've lost it, you know, you're just like that quick moment where you kind of, because, you know, we get to that space where it's like a meditative, and you guys know that who play a lot or that play in bands or with others, or, you know, you get lost in a whole nother universe. It's so cool. That's why I play, because I have some physical issues. I don't mean to always be bringing those up or that kind of stuff, but it's really affected my life. And only recently, since like 2016, have I been in a position where I can walk normally. I don't take any painkillers. I'm not having to use a cane or a wheelchair, you know, so it's only been really, you know, like 5 years or so that I've been able to play, and in 2016, I couldn't even sit for 15 minutes on the kit, no joke. So after 15 minutes, I'd be in so much pain that I had to stop, you know. And now I've gotten to the point, well, and a good throne helps too, and that's why I have a backrest. And, you know, you don't want to rely on having bad posture, not being centered and leaning. Sorry, I got my gardeners out there. But, you know, I stay centered, and then when I'm starting to feel some pain, that's when I'll kind of lean back a little bit, take a little bit of a load off, and then center myself correctly again. But I kind of have to do that because if I don't rotate and take pressure off and do different angles, you know, I can't play for the 6 hours a day that I do. So the instrument has been unbelievably beneficial. It saved my life. It helped save my life, and it got me back to having my coordination and strength and dexterity and legs and independence and all that stuff back through the instrument. So that's what I mean by, like, you reach that, like, it really is. It's like another universe. And you kind of get to this place where it's like all you're focused on and all you're hearing. That's why I close my eyes a lot. I'm so sorry about those gardeners, guys. Gosh, what terrible timing. But what I do is, you know, you kind of check out after a little while and you reach that meditative space, and it's a whole, it really is, it's like its own universe. And a lot of you know what I'm talking about, because it's like after you get to that point, you warm up a little bit, you get into it, your body's nice and warmed up, you got your blood flowing, your, you know, hands are working, you're loosened up. Mentally you go to this space where nothing else matters and I feel zero pain. So it's unbelievable how that works. And so that's why I play so much, because mentally it distracts me and it takes me away from my physical ailments. So that's one of the main reasons I play so much and that I enjoy it so much, is because it's changed my life, and I have a deep, deep passion for the instrument, in addition to, you know, kind of having that, like, idle hands are the devil's playground thing, right? So I literally just, first thing I did in 2016, okay, if I got sticks in my hands, I can't have idle hands, right? So it literally just started like that, and I just kept going and kept going. And the passion got stronger and stronger. And then once I saw how I could transfer that to other students and also get them to have the beneficial aspects that I've experienced through it, beautiful. Just beautiful thing to see and watch. And so that's my joy of it, is sharing that with others and getting them to have that experience where I've seen it change kids' entire lives. Like some autistic kiddos I have, you know, even kiddos like Cameron, like with how good he is in school band and all that stuff, like he's got something to always focus on and always practice, and it's something that you can always rely on, that you can go to, and you got your instrument. You know, it's like if you're frustrated, okay, I need to work some stuff out, you know, and get it out of your system. If you're in a good mood, then you know, your emotions will show through your playing. And so anyway, that's kind of my joy, is sharing those things with others. And that's why I, you know, if students can't afford certain things, or I can see that their passion runs deep, and I make them work for it too, believe me. I'm always paying attention, students. So it might seem like I'm not analyzing you, or I'm not, you know, and I try to just always be fun and encouraging in that, and that's really important. But I'm paying attention, okay? So, you know, those students that work hard, I see that, and I see where it pays off, and then I'm willing to do whatever that student needs, because then I know that they've got it in their hearts that that's what they want to do, and if I can help foster that in any way, I'm all for it. So that's kind of my approach to it. I'll shut up now, and hopefully these gardeners aren't so loud, and I'll try this tune again. I'm probably going to have to just re-record it because of the gardeners out there, but we'll see. And plus I'm giving a little spiel too, so but it's just part of the journey, part of the fun of hanging out and making videos and trying stuff out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people have spoken. Option A, come on. Hey, Macknificent is the topic. And y'all know that we flow the hottest. Got it feeling like the tropics in here. Let's get it. Hey, 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 hey. There ain't no way they can get rid of this. If I think it, instantly I'm spitting this. You might miss it if you blink and it's ridiculous. When we rockin', man, we so magnificent. And I know they wanna get with this. If I think it, then I'm instantly spitting this. If you blink, you might miss it, it's ridiculous. Every time I rock, I'm so magnificent. And you know that I be claiming position in the game. I'm the rapper that they name it, the most magnificent. Check the way we flipping this, flipping script. I'm the living cold on some frigid shit. I do it in a freeway, spelling it out, man. It's M-A-C-K. Music, art, creativity, knowledge. Every time I'm rhyming, man, I stay so polished. Back shit gets abolished, I be claiming my throne. Never slipping for a second, I'ma stay in my zone. Yeah, magnificent with the skills, magnificent with the way that I get ill. Magnificent structures is what we came to build. Magnificent describes the way I make you feel. It describes the vibe when I'm inside the site. We're getting live with guys who know my rhymes too hype. Magnificent, that would be the definition of how I'm spitting this until my final breath of living. This is an exorcism of all of the corny rappers who be needing ghostwriters. There ain't nothing but some actors, not a factor, homie, I'm a savage. I get you hot like puffin' on the cabbage. Yeah, and I be saying all the rap shit that you love. Harry Mack gon' rise above. So magnificent from YouTube to the club. Let's go. Hey, yeah, y'all can never get with this. Soon as I think it, I'm instantly spitting it. If you blink, you might miss it. It's ridiculous. When we in the house, y'all be so magnificent. I said we so. When we in the house, I said we so magnificent. I said we so. When we in the house, I said we so magnificent. Now if you feeling this, the way I'm aiming my raps, and the way that I be flaming these tracks, only one thing y'all should do, man, I'm claiming this fact. What y'all need to do now is throw the flames in the chat. Come on, when I'm spitting in the cipher, I be tight as fuck. Hey yo, I'm doing this here just to hype you up. Yeah, rappers they be talking of striking us. Flames in the chat right now, it's time to light it up. Yo, they had it for a minute, I'm the new dude, too true. Peace to everyone watching on YouTube. Stop up on the ground and leave the place shook. Can't forget about all my people up on Facebook, yeah. And y'all know that we always last through infinity when we on the multicast. Hitting many different platforms in the rap born. Hey, February 17 when the Max born. 1990s has been up and on the rhymes. We up in the lab where you find me. Y'all know my lyrics is grimy. Peace to everybody throwing fire emojis. Peace to my community, I'm holding y'all closely. Peace to everybody who be all up on my Patreon, throwing me support, knowing that I'm dropping crazy songs. Every day I'm gone in the zone, I'll be blacking out. Magnificent, that's the word that we be rapping about. Yeah. Hey yo, they talking about we living there. Soon as I think it, y'all know that I'm spitting there. If you blink, you might miss it. It's ridiculous. When we in the house, we be so magnificent. We be so, we be so. Hey, when we in the house, we be so magnificent. We be so, come on, so we be so. Hey, when we in the house, we be so magnificent. What? Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Should we try it again? Yay? Nay? I'll take that as a yay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people never slipping for a second, I'ma stay in my zone. Yeah.
Try and turn it up a little.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people have spoken. Option A, come on. Hey, Macknificent is the topic. And y'all know that we flow the hottest. Got it feeling like the tropics in here. Let's get it. Hey, 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 hey. There ain't no way they can get rid of this. If I think it, instantly I'm spitting this. You might miss it if you blink and it's ridiculous. When we rockin', man, we so magnificent. And I know they wanna get with this. If I think it, then I'm instantly spitting this. If you blink, you might miss it, it's ridiculous. Every time I rock, I'm so magnificent. And you know that I be claiming position in the game. I'm the rapper that they name it, the most magnificent. Check the way we flipping this, flipping script. I'm a living cold off the brick shit. I do it in a freeway, spelling it out, man. It's M-A-C-K. Music, art, creativity, knowledge. Every time I'm rhyming, man, I stay so Yeah, magnificent with the skills, magnificent with the way that I get ill. Magnificent structures is what we came to build. Magnificent describes the way I make you feel. It describes the vibe when I'm inside the cipher, getting live with guys who know my rhymes too hyper. Magnificent, that would be the definition of how it's written. That's until my final breath of living. This is the exorcism of all of the corny rappers who be needing ghost writers. There ain't nothing but some actors, not a factor, homie, I'm a savage. I get you high like puffin' on the cabbage. Yeah, and I be saying all the rap shit that you love. Harry Mack on rise above. So magnificent from YouTube to the club. Let's go. Hey, yeah, y'all could never get with this. Soon as I think it, I'm instantly spitting it. If you blink, you might miss it. It's ridiculous. When we in the house, y'all be so magnificent. I said we so. When we in the house, I said we so magnificent. I said we so. When we in the house, I said we so magnificent. Now if you feeling this, the way I'm aiming my raps and the way that I be playing these tracks, only one thing y'all should do, man, I'm claiming this fact. What y'all need to do now is throw the flames in the chat. Come on, when I'm spitting in the cypher, I'll be tight as fuck. Hey yo, I'm doing this here just to hype you up. Yeah, rappers they be talking of us striking us. Flames in the chat right now, it's time to light it up. Yo, they had it for a minute, I'm the new dude, too true. Peace to everyone watching on YouTube. Stop up on the ground and leave the place shook. Can't forget about all my people up on Facebook, yeah. And y'all know that we always last through infinity when we on the multicast. Hitting many different platforms when the rap's born. Hey, February 17 when the Mac's born. 1990s has been up and on the rise. We up in the lab where you find me. Y'all know my lyrics is grimy. Peace to everybody throwing fire emojis. Peace to my community, I'm holding y'all closely. Peace to everybody who be all up on my Patreon, throwing me support, knowing that I'm dropping crazy songs. Every day I'm on in the zone, I'll be blacking out. Magnificent, that's the word that we be rapping about. Yeah. Hey yo, it's talking what we living in. Soon as I think it, y'all know that I'm spitting it. If you think you might miss it, it's ridiculous. When we in the house, we be so magnificent. We be so, come on, so we be so. When we in the house, we be so magnificent. We be so, come on, so we be so. Hey, when we in the house, we be so magnificent. What? Yes, indeed.
Okay, one more time. Let's do it one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Try the crosstalk.
the people have spoken. Option A, come on. Hey, magnificent is the topic. And y'all know that we flow the hottest. Got it feeling like the tropics in here. Let's get it. Hey. There ain't no way they can get rid of this. If I think it, instantly I'm spitting this. You might miss it if you blinking, it's ridiculous. When we rockin', man, we so magnificent. And I know they wanna get with this. If I think it, then I'm instantly spitting it. If you blink, you might miss it, it's ridiculous. Every time I'm rapping, so magnificent. And you know that I be claiming position in the game. I'm the rapper that they name it, the most magnificent. Check the way we flipping it, flipping script. I'm a little cold on some freaky shit. I do it in a freeway, spelling it out, man, it's M-A-C-K. Music, art, creativity, knowledge. Every time I'm rhyming, man, I stay so polished. Whack shit, get the polished, I be claiming my phone. Never slipping for a second, I'ma stay in my zone. Yeah, magnificent with the skills, magnificent with the way that I get ill. Magnificent structures is what we came to build. Magnificent describes the way I make you feel. It describes the vibe when I'm inside the cipher, getting live with guys who know my rhymes too hyper. Magnificent, that would be the definition of how I'm spitting this until I find no breath of living. This is an exorcism of all of the corny rappers who be needing ghost writers. There ain't nothing but some actors, not a factor, homie, I'm a savage. I get you high like puffin' on the cabbage. Yeah, and I be saying all the rap shit that you love. Harry Mack on rise above. So magnificent from YouTube to the club. Let's go. Hey, yeah, y'all could never get with this. Soon as I think it, I'm instantly spitting it. If you blink, you might miss it. It's ridiculous. When we in the house, y'all be so magnificent. I said we so. When we in the house, I said we so magnificent. I said we so. When we in the house, I said we so magnificent. Now if you feeling this, the way I'm aiming my raps and the way that I be playing these tracks, only one thing y'all should do, man, I'm claiming this fact. What y'all need to do now is throw the flames in the chat. Come on, when I'm spitting in the cypher, I be playing as fuck. Hey yo, I'm doing this here just to hype you up. Yeah, rappers they be talking of us striking us. Peace to everybody throwing fire emojis. Peace to my community, I'm holding y'all closely. Peace to everybody who be all up on my Patreon, throwing me support, knowing that I'm dropping crazy songs. Every day I'm gone in the zone, I'll be blacking out. Magnificent, that's the word that we be best about. Yeah. Hey yo, the talking what we living in. Soon as I think it, y'all know that I'm spitting it. If you think you might miss it, it's ridiculous. When we in the house, we be so magnificent. We be so cool, so we be so, hey. When we in the house, we be so magnificent. We be so, come on, so we be so, hey. When we in the house, we be so magnificent. What? Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
5.
Oh, Mark Rebellier
6.
with the Harry Mack.
7.
I love it, man. This live stream, that's one of my favorites ever. Mark and Harry together. Oh my goodness, really great. Really great duo. Okay, well, I'll have to listen back to that. This turned into a 31-minute video, and I was just gonna come out and do this other subscriber request tune. So I'll have to listen back and see. I don't know, maybe sometimes I just post the full video because I just, turn the song on. This was the first time I've literally heard the song, so probably should have listened to it before I started playing it. But, that's part of the fun of the exercise of it, is playing in the moment to what you're hearing and having those reflexes, to change to those grooves and match the phrasing of what you're hearing, like right in that bar. So, you can always like stay home where you're just, if you're doing, the cross stick stuff of that, where you're just, or just playing eights, like, and there is some bass drum changes in that song too, but it's mostly a 1 and then 3 and a 1 and 2, a 3 and 4, or a 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You can do it either way. So a 1 and 2, a 3 and 4, or a 1 and 2, a 3 and 4, a 1 and 2, a 3 and 4. Thing with just eights, call that staying home, where you're just playing the groove. But if you do that throughout the whole song, it kind of just makes it one-dimensional, so that's why I like exploring. And I went to the 5.5 DW too, because that's got a fat cross stick sound too. Really fat, jeez. Just about as fat as these die casts. And this is a 5.5 inch deep, but it is a 10 ply. And it does have the DW, I think they're called True Hoops. I forget exactly, but it's DW, so it's their DW design with the mag throw off and those certain hoops and the 10 ply maple 45 degree bearing edge. And that's the cool thing about this DW kit, is that it's graduated plies.